Yo, 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 world out there, who we are. Back again on Crash with Dash. This is Wrestling Wednesdays. It is your boy, Jay Dash. I'm here, of course, with the posse, with the crew, with the other wrestling fanboys out there. D and Eugene, how are you guys doing today?
I is doing all right. Is you just burning
What's
up?
up?
And we've got a lot to talk about today. Not as much as last week because I don't think anything that we have witnessed was as hype as Fighter Fest was, and Fighter Fest we went on for over an hour about, and I just don't think we have that today. But a lot did happen in the wrestling world. This is a crazy month for wrestling, by the way. And you know, we this weekend was actually very stacked as well. So let's go ahead and get into everything, starting with Impact Wrestling, the final episode leading up to Slammiversary. Dion, I know you watched this. I don't know if you got a chance to watch Impact, Eugene, but I know for sure Dion did. Did you have any thoughts on Impact Wrestling, the episode leading up to Slammiversary, Dion?
Well, as usual, it's just it's got a lot of hits and misses
Yep.
as far as the stories and the production.
Mm-hmm.
And but like I said, this week I was actually pleasantly surprised by all the action in the ring. Not just the women this time, but with everybody that was involved with the just the card itself in general.
I think the TJP Ace Austin match was actually pretty good. Like, actually a
Oh yeah,
solid match.
yeah,
It's
that was
probably
pretty
the best
like
match of the night.
yeah.
Um,
Well then, don't then I have to say at least a close second would be the triple threat match with the Rascals.
yeah,
All members fighting each
yeah.
other.
To
I mean, I
see to
thought that
see
was
who was going to go in to the tag team and who was
yeah,
not. Yeah,
yeah,
that was somewhat interesting, and then the finish was unique, where the two had to pin the one.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Kind of
yeah,
felt that one coming though.
and I think the highlight of the show had to have been the Tessa Blanchard at the end invading OVE's rooftop locale with the
Yeah.
bat, and then I think they ended up getting the upper hand on her if I remember correctly again, leading up to
No,
Simon.
no, 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 no.
Oh yeah, she finished with the upper
She
hand, right?
finished she finished standing over them.
Yeah, okay, that's right. So, so that happens, and of course, this is the last episode building up to Slammiversary, and of course, as Impact usually does, they give you spend 20 minutes giving you highlights of previous Slammiversary matches. So the show wasn't very, I guess, packed with actual matches, but that was
Hmm.
everything leading up to Slammiversary. I have not finished watching Slammiversary. I hope I will one day finish watching because apparently, according
One
to
day.
what people are saying, Slammiversary actually turned out to be pretty solid. And so let's go straight into the card and let's look at the results. And let's just kind of see what happened with Slammiversary. So the TJP Open Challenge, Jake Crisp came out there, Trey came out there, and Willie Mack came out there, and Willie Mack picked up the win in this one. I heard the match was really, really good from what I saw, and I've actually started watching this match. From what I've seen thus far, it's actually pretty solid. So Willie
Hmm.
Mack obviously picks up a win. I don't know how important this win is because there was nothing on the line, but I guess there's a lot of people who are saying that Willie Mack is really that good, and so I guess it's good
Yeah.
that Impact Wrestling is at least putting him on their second biggest show, and things of that nature.
Well, he would be like the second big man competing in the X division with the smaller guys since the days of Samoa Joe, I would say.
Yeah, I could see that.
No,
But I don't know. I think we tapped on this last week. I just kind of think they need to go back to X Division having a weight limit and keeping
right.
the guys in that weight limit. And I think that adds to the X Division. Let Willie Mack do his own thing in the singles run. And I guess the biggest problem with Impact right now is they don't have a second belt for mid carders.
Hmm.
And I think that that's probably really hurting the direction that Impact's going. But then again, their talent seems to be turning over so fast that it's kind of hard. Um, then next we had the Impact Tag Team Championship match. The North, who actually defeated LAX on the Thursday leading up to Slammiversary. They defeated LAX. The North walked in as tag team champions, and they retained against LAX and the Rascals. Again, said it was a very good match, but apparently just like I heard there was a lot of matches in Slammiversary where they pulled this person did all the work, but this person gets the cover, and I heard this match did that as well as the first one. But the North retains, and I think this is because of the rumors that LAX might be done with Impact Wrestling, and are apparently very, very sought after by WWE and AEW. And so I'm sure they're going to weigh their options, which anybody should.
Well, you know what? The fact that they lost the titles,
yeah, untelevised, by the way. Show. Yeah, untelevised, lost the titles. Like that was kind of shocking.
Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, but you know what? Maybe Jay's rumors coming true here. LAX probably is about to bolt,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
I'm like, and then then you're saying they didn't get them back. I think that pretty much nails it for me anyway.
Yeah, you think they're on their way out? I mean, yeah, we'll see.
Well, unless they still in contract negotiations and they just want to make sure.
Could be. I guess we'll probably find out within the next couple of weeks. And then, of course, there was the first blood match between Eddie Edwards and Killer Kross for Eddie Edwards. I don't remember exactly what he did, but somehow he made him cough up blood, and that counted because it was the first blood match. I don't remember exactly what he did, but he ends up winning that. And then Moose defeats Rob Van Dam.
Which he should have.
Yes, I think everybody agrees with that. But apparently the match was actually really good. By the way, the Eddie Edwards match was said to be pretty good too. Like, so from top to bottom, every match was supposed to be pretty solid.
I will be honest about this. It doesn't surprise me that the matches are good, because our biggest knock with Impact is not the action in the ring, it's just the production.
Yeah, the production, the storytelling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just, it's horrid, man. It's almost non-existent. I mean, because that was one of the knocks I was having. That's one of the things I don't like about watching Impact on Twitter. It's just, man, when you in between those matches, you got home chicks sitting on
Melissa Santos, but then and sometimes her audio is all jacked up. She's trying to talk to you, and
this week she was eating chips and
her and that baby that was with her crying and everything during the earthquakes.
One of us could do that shit. I mean, man, let's go into somebody's house.
Yeah, it was awkward. It's awkward. I don't know how much I feel with the Melissa Santos thing, and I'm not a Twitch. She's on Twitch and she's so hot. I've just got to say hi to her because, that's.
Nah, she ain't hot because them kids ruined that for me, man.
Well, I don't know if those are her kids, but I guess it doesn't matter.
And I want to be clear, it's not a knock against her.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the production. I mean,
sure.
Come on, man. You have no backstage action going on, and the stuff that you do have sucks.
Well, so the reason that they do that is because Twitch has the TV or a deal with them, but also there is a true TV deal out there. So we listen to Melissa Santos during commercials. So that's the only time we listen to her is when the TV people get real commercials.
They're gonna have to juice that up some kind of way. They can keep her on there because she does have character. She is
sure. She just needs to. Like you said, backstage blue screen it something,
Yeah, she's got and it's like
it's got to be studio.
She's got nothing to work with, as far as what to talk about.
But they want it to be live, so that's what it's supposed to be interactive.
And that's fine.
But I agree.
But she needs some characters with her. I mean, I don't know, some fellow wrestlers that's off that night or whatever, or another co-host, just something, man, to kind of liven that up.
Well, I've seen it in the past. They've tried it with Don Callis, but they had connection issues where they couldn't even hear each other. So it's just a cluster altogether.
Yeah.
Altogether it's a cluster where it's like just, I don't know. Maybe they'll get it together one day. It's just it does take you out of it, and it's almost like you'd rather just have commercials, which is sad. You'd rather just have commercials. I think it's to the point where a commercial would just be better than sitting there sometimes. So a lot of times I end up, especially if I'm sitting down watching Impact, like it'll put me to sleep in between the times. I'll nod off because of this. So I agree. They got to pick that up. I do agree with that.
Yeah. But anyway, I don't want to get. I didn't mean.
Yeah, that was a huge tangent, but it is definitely worth talking about. But apparently Rob Van Dam looked like his young self, they said. They said he cut a promo earlier where he seemed like he was pretty high, he didn't know what he was talking about. You know, and it's like, yeah, that sounds like Rob Van Dam.
Yeah, that's ECW's Rob Van Dam, right?
And then the Knockouts champion Monsters Ball match, Taya Valkyrie retains. I hear that match is insanity.
Really?
Yes, I'm going to spoil one part because I don't know if you're ever going to watch it. Apparently,
don't spoil it for me.
Apparently, Taya Valkyrie stapled a board to Su Young's head in the middle of the match.
Wait, she stapled what?
A board to Su Young's head.
Ooh.
So, but from what I've read and heard about it, this match is insanity. So I really can't wait to get to that one.
That's not a spoiler. That's a tease, man.
Yeah. So
I gotta see it, man.
Rich Swann retains against Johnny Impact. Brian Cage retains against Michael Elgin.
Well, hey, right quick. Johnny Impact. What have they done with him, man? It's like ever since he just been spiraling out of control, just down the.
It's like they do the. I don't feel the Hollywood gimmick either. The Slamtown Hollywood style gimmick with Johnny Bravo. Like I don't feel it, but I don't know. I think the biggest question mark because this was the last thing on Johnny Impact's contract, and so. You know, I guess they just wanted to use him, not put him in a high-profile match to where it seems like, wait, he just got defeated. Where'd you go? So I think the X Division was a good place to do it. Apparently, the match tore the house down. It was pretty solid, because he went against Rich Swann, and then, but there's speculation that he's going to sign a new deal with Impact. It would make sense. His wife is there. His wife's the champion, so it would just make sense, right? And then Brian Cage defeats Michael Elgin, which I think we all saw that one coming. But the surprise was that the intergender match was the main event. It was actually the last match: Sami Callihan versus Tessa Blanchard. Yeah. Who do y'all suspect won that one?
I'm gonna go with Callihan.
Tessa.
Callihan wins. And the thing is, like, you know, apparently it was a pretty solid match, but Callihan gave her a package pile driver and then to a spike pile driver and got the pin. And then he went to pick up, because Tessa Blanchard brought out a gold bat, and he went to pick up the bat, and everybody thought he was going to beat her, but then he apparently hands her bat back and as a nod of respect to her or something like that.
Bless his heart.
Yeah, so that's how it ends. But
now he'll respect you if you can take the fight to him.
Mm-hmm.
You may not like you. You still do crap to you, but you at least have his respect, street cred for him.
But as I said, overall, it was supposed to be a very solid show, like very solid. Right. Where,
and that's to be honest, that's good to hear. For as much noise as we talk about Impact,
it's very good to hear that if you're one of the 22 people out there who paid to watch this pay-per-view. That you were entertained and that you're trying to tell us to watch it. So and as I said, I wish that more people could get into Impact. But like Dion and I were saying, there is some hurdles and obstacles that they need to overcome to make it more accessible for everybody. And I think that if they do that, and part of it is their story writing. So part of it is that too. And if they can somehow get their stuff together, get some, and another problem is AEW. If LAX goes to AEW, I mean, it's just like, what do you do? There's just so much competition out there right now, and I think that Impact right now is that company that's just kind of stuck in the middle of it. I mean, because look what we're going to talk about next. I mean, the G1 Climax happened, and NJPW is growing big in America. So Eugene, what can you give us about the G1 Climax?
The first day in Dallas, it was a really good event. For anyone that, I feel like that was the perfect event for anyone who was still speculating on really the hype about New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Okay. So, and what day was this, out of curiosity? The first day?
July 6th. It was last Saturday.
So it was on Saturday, So basically, Slammiversary and NJPW were happening at the same time.
What time was Slammiversary? Was that like
I
7
don't
maybe?
know. I don't know, but they were literally on Saturday as well, and I think Saturday evening. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Oh
they
man,
sold and NJPW sold out the arena, the American Airlines arena.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean the top section was tarped off. You can obviously see like there wasn't really a lot, but they still drew a crowd. It looked like a good maybe I want to say maybe 3,000. I
Oh,
don't know.
okay.
I couldn't really
I take
tell.
that back. It was Slammiversary was on the 7th, so that's Sunday. So sorry, but go ahead.
But yeah,
Dallas is big for wrestling this weekend, though.
yeah, big weekend for wrestling in Dallas. But yeah, I feel like that was a perfect introduction for anyone who was speculating on
Okay.
what New Japan Pro Wrestling was. They had about 10 matches, 10, 11 matches.
Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah, they typically do like the A block and a B block,
Mm-hmm.
where if one block is not like actually wrestling that event, they'll do like tag team matches.
Okay.
So like you'll have like one participant and a tag team partner versus another participant and a tag team partner, just
Okay.
kind of to build up their match for whenever they do officially go at it. And those 5 matches will go on, and then you would have the final 5 matches be the actual like G1 climax
Okay.
like match. And yeah, all of them were really solid. From Lance Archer versus Will Ospreay, you had Balak Fale versus Evil, you had Kenta, formerly known as Hideo Itami versus Kota Ibushi. Um, who else was there? There was Zack Sabre Jr. versus Sonata, and then the main event between the two aces, Hiroshi Tanahashi and Kazuchika Okada, which I think was it might have been the match of the night. I don't know.
Okay.
Uh, I still like the Sonata Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, and I keep
But
forgetting that Will Ospreay's over there too.
yeah, Osprey. I mean, that match he had with Archer, it was kind of like
Hold on, D. You
yeah.
sound like you're in a wind tunnel again, there, man.
yeah, yeah.
Where you flying?
I mean, how's it now?
Better, much better.
It's
Okay.
good. It's good.
Go ahead.
You know what? I had dug my head and it got right into the vent.
I got it.
The
Got it.
microphone.
Okay, go ahead, Eugene.
No, but I was just gonna say it was like a good like David versus Goliath match.
Okay.
Archer's,
Like
near
7'10".
yeah, like Undertaker-esque.
Got
Not
it.
skill wise, but like height wise, and then you
Got
got
it.
Osprey, who's like a junior heavyweight. So it was a good David versus Goliath match. But yeah, top to bottom from those 5 matches on that night, very solid.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, well that's
So
cool.
if you had a chance to, I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be like full matches on YouTube. So anytime
Oh,
you have
sure.
an opportunity, you can just skim through. You don't
Sure.
have to see the opening matches, those tag team matches.
But just go ahead and try to
they're
watch
just-
the parts of the G1 climax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I do. Like whenever it's like G1 day, I just skip through the tag team matches because I know they're just gonna do like multiple man tag team matches just to kind of build up the tension. But the main matches you want to see are the 5 matches that take place on that day.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, all right. So now let's move on before we get to another big weekend of wrestling. Jeez,
Oh, yeah.
this has been an insane month trying to keep up with everything. Like I am mentally, exhausted due to the amount of wrestling that is happening right now. So,
Because you got
This week,
you got
go ahead.
competition on the rise now. It's not just
Well-
WWE.
no, you're absolutely right, but this weekend is going to be enormous. So let's go ahead and
Yeah.
nail Raw SmackDown before we
After
start.
this weekend, you're gonna have to do another hour special on AEW.
I know.
Oh yeah,
I know.
and then
Ah.
also this Extreme Rules the
Oh,
next day.
Oh yeah.
No, I know. But the thing is, and by the way, just for the couple people who are listening live right now, on the 31st, we will be taking a vacation because I will be out of town on the 31st of this month. And I will need it because, we have a few weeks of just craziness with wrestling. So, when we look at what happened on Raw, like I'll tell you what turned out to be very, very good for me with Raw this week. My DVR, for whatever reason, did not work correctly, so I missed probably about an hour's worth of Raw, and from what I saw from these results that I was looking at, I was like, thank goodness my DVR messed up. Because when we look at the first hour, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, I could care less. And because that's just jobbing Andrade, which I'm very, very, unhappy that the way that Andrade is getting treated in the company. And then I missed, obviously, the Usos and the Miz versus the Revival and Elias, which, I really don't even care about that. Like, when are the Usos and the Revival going to have a match? Like, why is this not at Extreme Rules? Things like that. And then you look at the next one, Rey Mysterio's Open Challenge, and Bobby Lashley comes out.
and basically wore him as a jockstrap and send him on his way.
Well, at least they're doing what they said. We were saying is that they were at least making him come out looking strong. But I guess we'll see what really happens with this last man standing match at Extreme Rules. But let's say Extreme Rules. This is where my DVR kicked in: Cesaro versus No Way Jose. Now,
wow, what a DVR.
Yeah. To kick in at that moment, because I mean, is that match even worth watching? I mean, I'm gonna get to Cesaro in a second, like a little bit later. I'm saving Cesaro for later.
I'm gonna answer your question to that. It's No Way Jose.
Sure.
Do I need to go any further than that?
No. And then the Viking Raiders run squash match, and then of course we have to have the 24/7 champion running through with R-Truth and all those things, which I don't mind the 24/7 stuff. It's actually some of the most entertaining stuff that Raw's putting out there, which is sad. With Raw and SmackDown are putting out there, which is sad. So I don't, it's because we didn't even talk about it last week, and when the show was over, like, oh my god, we did not talk about the fact that Drake Maverick is the legitimate 24/7 champ, and he's supposed to be running around with his wife, going on honeymoons, and of course they're getting chased, and it's just a fun little segment they're doing,
Yeah, but I'm getting tired of it. But then this man.
Okay, you're getting tired of it. Do I need to remind you that Cesaro faced No Way Jose? Do I need to remind you that Rey Mysterio faced Bobby Lashley? Do I need to remind you that Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch faced Andrade?
Okay, all right. Point taken. Jeez, man.
Okay.
Touche, all that.
Okay, so
white towel thrown up.
Okay, and then another just wasted. Bayley just cannot talk. Like, we just need to take the microphone away from Bayley. Mm-hmm. It is so bad. It is cringe. It's cringeworthy bad.
You already know what she's gonna say before she says it.
And it's still her delivery makes it cringeworthy. Like, it's already bad in my head. But then when it comes out of her mouth, it's cringe-worthy. Like, they got to get the belt off of her. She's not doing anything to make that belt any more prestigious because you just don't care.
She's gonna have to. I don't know. She's gonna have to go heel.
She needs some. If going heel will help her character work, sure, but the way she talks is just terrible.
Well, no,
what? Robotic.
What the way she's talking and what she's saying.
Yes.
I mean, she's still trying to be that goody high moral. Forget all that. It's time to be a bitch now.
But they need to really work with her own delivery. Her delivery is terrible. When she talked. After she was done with that promo, I didn't even care about their little beat the clock challenge. I guess it was cool to see Sarah Logan back. It was cool that Dana Brooke got some TV time. And it's crazy because Dana Brooke is still getting cheers from the audience and WWE is just not listening. It seems, because after WrestleMania she was on a little hot streak when she was coming out. The crowd was cheering for her. And, then she didn't get anything. But, I was at least glad to see Sarah Logan back, but I don't know. And then,
No lie, when I see Bailey on the TV, I just kind of like mute.
yeah, oh,
I just want to see the
as you
action.
should.
I just mute it.
As you should.
I'm gonna tell you what. Yeah, when she comes on, it's just depending on what she's fixing to do. If she's fixing to get on the microphone, mute.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to see her in action.
Yeah.
If anything, but they need to make up their mind on which direction they really want to go with her. Because at first when she was getting her push to win that belt,
Mm-hmm.
you thought she was going to be, just transform into more of a badass, like have a little more attitude or whatnot.
Because she herself was saying the hugger is gone, but
Right.
It's the same character.
But
And then it's like they started and they back off. Like they're scared to make that push.
Honestly, we just have to face it. Bailey's always going to be the female John Cena, where the character is stale to grown-ups, but little girls love it. It sells merch to little girls. And it's it is what it is. I mean, we just have to face reality, which is weird because they seem to be pushing the boundaries everywhere else, right? Everything else they're doing, they're getting more liberal with the word ass. They're all these other things.
And bitch and profanity.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
adult themes and everything.
But what do we do?
I mean, don't be surprised. Pretty soon you're gonna actually screw up and see Biggie whip it out one day. They're gonna have to cut to commercial or something.
And then, of course, we had the main event: Roman Reigns and Gary Garbutt, who, of course, was Cedric Alexander versus Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre. Did Cedric Alexander add anything to the match?
The most confusing thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Mystery.
So confusing.
Mm-hmm.
And then he lost.
Yeah, it's just like, what was the point of putting Cedric in there? I understand he's getting TV time, but it's like, what's the meaning behind it?
I don't know.
What's his affiliation with Roman? What's his affiliation against Drew or Shane? It's just
what's his affiliation with Gary Garbutt? Like, how was he able to, when Shane and Drew went to recruit Gary Garbutt, what was Cedric Alexander's affiliation with him?
I thought he was a wrestler. Or is
no, he's not. It's just like, it didn't make any sense. And it's funny that you said that because this match results page I'm on, I'm going to read this first line. I have no idea what all of this was supposed to have accomplished.
It did nothing. It didn't even properly build up the fact that, we're going to see Drew and Shane against The Undertaker and Roman Reigns on Monday. It's like, well, what just happened?
Why not just literally just say, that guy right there, he's not on TV, look how small he is. And just have it really be Cedric Alexander. There's no point in the bait and switch because nobody cared about it to begin with.
Well, you know what the screwed up part about that was? Roman said he already had a partner, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how they know? But this was before Shane and them picked the black guy.
Yeah, well.
So how are you gonna pull that off? I mean, suppose they picked the first guy they got, and then you come marching him out there as a man.
I don't know. It just didn't make any sense, and this is why I'm trying to get through Raw as fast as possible because overall, I thought it was a big downgrade from last week, which is sad because after last week, you kind of got the sense that they're trying to do something here, and then you.
Well, you notice they started off with action again this week, even though it was your favorite couple. What do you think about?
I didn't see it, so I'm okay.
I'm saying what? Well, then I was going to ask you what you think about the ongoing storyline with Kanellis and
they were dragging that too.
Yeah, it was. I mean, Kanellis is getting TV time, but is it good TV time? Is it going to lead to anything? I don't know.
Do we care?
Yeah.
Not the way that they're doing it. I guess we'll just have to see how it plays out. I'm gonna say too early to call on that one. I'll give it a little bit more time to manifest before I give my opinion on that.
What do you think about what they're doing with Nikki Cross right now as far as building her up?
I just think it's lame. It's the same tired story that we see all the time.
But people are actually getting behind her, so
I agree.
Yeah, it's giving us a lot of TV time and some pop.
Mm-hmm.
But the storyline is just cliche.
Agreed.
But I mean, go ahead.
No, I was just go ahead, because I was about to wrap her all up. So go ahead and get your last
Now,
bit
you,
in.
no, you can go ahead because I didn't have
Yeah,
nothing
Okay,
really too exciting.
let's go to SmackDown.
let's go to SmackDown, which
Yeah,
was I'll say interesting. I don't know how much I liked it, but I'll
mm-hmm.
say at least it was interesting. Different. It was different. I did not like. I know a lot of people probably like the Kevin Owens quote unquote pipe bomb, but it
Right.
felt. It did like if they were trying to go for the CM Punk feeling, they did not capture that at all. Like and we were talking about this before we started the show. I just don't like the fact that Owens has turned from heel to face, to heel to face to heel to face to heel to face
Well,
Yeah.
within 14 days. It seems like he's turning every. It's just ridiculous. But whatever. But the crowd seemed to get behind it, all that stuff. So what do I say?
I could tell you how. Well, I'm interested in it because I mean I know he no nobody's ever gonna be CM Punk. He once he did it, it won't be repeated unless it's by CM Punk himself.
Sure.
But what I do like, at least I would say, what gives it some hope, is the fact it seemed like with the things that he was spewing out on the mic, while he was standing on the table, is he was breaking kayfabe in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like,
To some degree, sure, but I mean,
it's like a total different. It's not. It was like it was slightly unscripted. You don't have Vince telling them to say all this stuff.
but see, I didn't get that feeling. I got the feeling that it was completely scripted. Because
But you
everything
gotta
he
remember,
said was just.
you have a higher intelligence than most people, though, Jay.
But
You gotta remember.
no, that's not the point. I'm just saying, like, to try to have them cut the mic and everything multiple
Mm-hmm.
times and everything, it just felt. That's the problem with it. Is it just felt way too scripted for me. That's why I didn't buy into it at all. I didn't get behind it. It didn't get me excited. As I said, it was interesting because it was different, a different dynamic per se, but
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't enough to really grasp my attention.
So you're
You
saying
know.
they was trying to shake it up, but it was a
Yeah,
fail.
yeah, in my eyes,
But
but I'm giving them credit for trying.
right.
I don't like the fact that it's Kevin Owens doing it. I think Kevin Owens is just one of the best heels they have. So, in my opinion, it's just a bad move. I didn't get into
I
behind
think
face Kevin Owens, so I just have no interest in it again. But go ahead, Eugene. Sorry.
Because go ahead.
I was gonna say I think the only reason why it's getting its like pops that it's getting is because I think WWE is finally acknowledging like, yeah, we do have Shane McMahon kind of on TV more than usual. Because before that point, nobody really mentioned the fact that Shane has been on TV and been on more matches than a lot of
Yeah,
people
and
on
it's
the
been
roster.
all over the internet. Yeah.
So I think
Um,
like the fact that they're acknowledging it, maybe that's why it's getting a little bit more
sure.
than usual. So
It
if
just
anything,
seems too fabricated, though. That's
yeah,
you know
yeah,
that's the
yeah.
downside to the whole thing, and of course it is. If wrestling is all fabricated, but this just seems too fabricated.
Like when you can
Like
see
they
the
spoke, yeah, they spoke about it last week. They made an article about it last week. Oh, so that means this week we gotta do this. And my whole thing is, I think people are looking, and we discussed this before the show went on air too, and I mentioned this last week. I'm gonna mention it again today. Why is the talent letting Shane McMahon be a better heel than them? Right? Why is the
Mm-hmm.
talent like when Drew McIntyre was like, look, they gave us a script. I just say the script my way. He goes,
Right.
and when Drew McIntyre says his stuff, you believe Drew McIntyre. And so,
Yep.
and my thing is, the Shane thing helped the Revival get back into the picture.
Right.
They could always group other heels up with Shane McMahon and have them be his new cronies for this week to get them TV time as well. But the
Well,
thing is, if you get that time, you've got to maximize it and make something of it.
well,
That's my whole thing.
why are they scrubbing Elias so bad?
I do have a problem with that. That is the one thing I do have a problem
They
with.
are wasting
He's
him, man.
always the one. He's the jobber of the crew. So
Yeah.
so they could go out and get some more people where Elias doesn't need to be the jobber, where those other people are the jobber. But it could always be like how they use Shane to get to try to get Dolph Ziggler, to go get Roman. Like, that's what I'm saying, is they can use Shane to pull up other heels to create other scenarios. And so
Right.
my thing is, I for one don't necessarily think the Shane McMahon thing is bad, as long as they're doing it correctly, where they're using it to create other opportunities, which they did
Right.
with Cedric Alexander, just in a very
And
poor way.
They should just make Shane like a mob boss then.
Yeah, sure.
Just have a stable of henchmen or just hired hands.
I'm going to
hired
get back to
guns.
that later on, because I've got something for that when we
And
get to that.
that could help put people over.
I
'cause
agree.
it'll give them
I
a
agree,
chance.
and that's what I'm going to save that idea for
Okay.
later, because I got something for you.
Well, I'll shut up about it then.
Now, where it did get interesting for me is Shinsuke Nakamura finally coming back and actually picking up a win on Finn Balor. That, was interesting, and I was cool with that.
That was smart.
Yeah, sure it was, but then...
Because it'll be screwed up to have him come back and just fall on his face for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Just for the sake of making Balor look good again. What's the whole point of even pushing the dude?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's back. Oh, he made an appearance. Blah blah.
And I wouldn't mind if they had a match at Extreme Rules, which they won't. Maybe I guess at the next pay-per-view, but maybe do a double turn, have Balor join the club, and Shinsuke can become back face, and then you can have things to do with him, right? So there's room for that. So I thought that was actually pretty good. Then of course they did Samoa Joe promo, which we all know Samoa Joe is one of the best promo cutters. So you follow up the Nakamura thing with that. I'm invested now, right? So they caught me early.
Wait a minute, was Joe even there that night?
He just did one of those backstage promos where he's on the screen and they just have his face on the screen basically. So whether it was live or not, I don't know. But then what do they follow this up with? These two things. So I was like, all right, cool. SmackDown's actually sounds like it's gonna be good. And then it's the Bayley and Nikki Cross contract signing.
Oh.
And I swear to you, Bayley forgot her lines. I swear to you, like, Nikki Cross was responding to something that Bayley was supposed to have said, and you could tell when Bayley was saying the thing that she said that she had messed up. It was so bad.
She don't hide it well.
See, I don't even think that Bayley is the John Cena of the women's division.
No.
John Cena could even hold a promo. If anything, I think like Bayley's like the Shelton Benjamin of the women's division.
What are they doing with
him? But he can't hold a promo.
Agreed. But the only thing I meant about the John Cena is that her merch sells like crazy to kids like Cena. So I guess it should have, went into details. What are they doing, Shelton Benjamin? I don't know.
Standpoint.
Yes.
From a wrestling character standpoint.
Yes.
But I get your drift.
Yeah.
And that's probably why they won't let the boss go or wouldn't let her go.
Yeah.
Her merch sale must be through the roof.
Yeah.
There's a rumor about her.
Yep, there is.
Yeah, she's supposed to be coming back
really soon.
I think.
Really soon.
And right now she's doing, I guess, ambassador work. Maybe.
She's apparently they've given her time off, so she can, I guess, mentally get herself prepared.
I think supposedly they offered her like a 7-figure contract last week or something like that.
Oh wow! So like an extension, because I know she's still under contract.
Yeah, she's still under contract, so I think maybe an extension.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think she was trying to ride it out, and then once she expired, she could bail out.
But the reason that she's going to come back is obviously they must be promising her a push as well, like, or at least more creative control over her character, because she literally didn't mind losing the tag team titles. She said, I think it was just the fact that, why even give us the inaugural belts to do this and then to lose the way we did, not even have an extended program. And, from jump, I do believe that the Iconics were the ones that should have started with it anyway, my opinion. But, and now the Iconics, it is what it is. I don't really care enough about this whole thing to get in there, but I feel what she's trying to say. And, and she is one of the most misused characters. To me, there's the two sides of Sasha Banks. There's the Sasha Banks, the boss, and then there's Sasha Botch, the Botch Queen. And for me, she's just got to clean it up. And when she's on her highs, she's on her highs. But when she's on her lows, she's on her lows. And if she can somehow just clean it up, like I would completely be behind her. But there's just too many times I've watched a Sasha Banks match where it's like, man, it just that just looks bad. You know, the botch or something.
Right.
You know, so I'm just hoping that, and maybe her head wasn't in the game because she's just like, they're not using me correctly anyway. But at the same time, you're a
Right.
professional,
Yeah.
and you
gotta
signed this
deliver.
contract and you're making this money and you're doing your thing, so live up to it. Unless you just
And-
have that mindset where I really don't care if I keep this job or not, you know?
Well, the thing about it, though, Jay, I don't think it would be that. I think just a botch. I won't think because his attitude. Because in that ring, you cannot just be careless because you could end somebody's career
Sure.
just botching. You know.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, look at Nia Jax. How many people she hurt?
Mm-hmm.
I think
Oh,
that's why they had to
you don't
hurt.
understand when she did that shoulder breaker to Charlotte, but did it to her head. I almost like flipped out because I was like, "There's no way Charlotte can get injured." I was so afraid because Charlotte is the women's division. You know, Charlotte Flair is the women's division. She is the focal point of the women's division, and this whole rise of the women's division would be dead if Charlotte, like, that's another reason why the women's division feels kind of empty right now because Charlotte's not on it right now. But she is pretty much the face of the women's division overall. Whether you like her or hate her, we all know Charlotte Flair throws down when that bell rings. And Charlotte Flair's put on some of the best matches of the year last year, as far as the women's matches goes.
And even in tag match, where's my Oscar, man?
Well,
Oh, yeah.
well, I was gonna get to that because Nikki Cross and Carmella had their match, but
I know.
right after that,
Uh-huh.
Kairi Sane and Asuka were backstage with
And
Paige,
And your
and
girl spoke.
Paige got to speak, and I thought it was a clever little segment that they ran. Billy Kay claiming she was sick, but then Paige slapping her and everything, and. Billy Kay trying to get all hype, and then she was like, I thought you were sick. And then Billy Kay had to pretend she was sick again so she didn't have to defend the titles. I thought it was a clever little thing, and it gave Paige time. It gave... Amber Alert. It gave the Kabuki Warriors, we see they're still alive, that they're not, trapped up in Dion's basement somewhere,
Okay. I put too much trust in that lock on the door, and they just undid the hinges. Damn it!
Yeah.
But anyway,
They got some new merch.
What was cool is you guys.
Yeah, they have a new shirt too. Yeah.
I do agree that Paige needs more FaceTime, because even in that little promo, that was so Paige.
You can tell that Paige. When you listen to all the female wrestlers talk, the women wrestlers, we all know Alexa Bliss is the best of them. At least we should know when it comes to them talking. I mean, they had her host WrestleMania because she's the best talker of all the females. I would honestly say that Paige might be number 2. Like, when Paige was talking, it was just very believable. And when my first experience with Paige is when she came back with Absolution, and I thought her mic work was pretty solid with them. The general manager stuff, it's like, it's just way too scripted and everything. But I feel like Paige just deserves to talk more. That's just my feeling. Whenever Paige talks, I want to hear her talk more.
Yeah.
So let's hope that it's going to work, because Paige actually said she wanted to manage Asuka. Like, that is something that she wanted to do. You gave her Asuka, so now let's give them some TV time. That's
Or she could be. You mean to be her mouthpiece?
Yes. Because she said she's always thought Asuka was incredible. It's just that she knows how hard it is for someone to get over who does not have the mouthpiece. So she said, when her career had to take a side story, she did not want to take a backstage producer role. She wanted to be on camera, still working. And it's like, okay, so give it to her. Like, the people still love Paige. Give the people Paige and give Paige the people. Like, that's I think it's just that easy, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
You would think it would be that easy, but
Sure.
remember, this is WWE.
I think the next match is whatever. Otis defeated Xavier Woods and Daniel Bryan. The only good part of this whole thing was the promos in the beginning. The match, very forgettable, just to try to build up hype for Extreme Rules. And then, of course, backstage, the Ember Moon feud continuing, and she's going to have a partner next week to go against it. If it's anybody other than Carmella, I guess it'll be interesting, but it looks like it's going to be Carmella from all the previous weeks, so who cares? Because, she won't be able to find a partner. She has no friends, but then why has she been, like, chilling out with Carmella every time something happens? And do you see what I'm saying? Another fake trying to manifest interest when it's obvious who it's going to be.
And how did she go from being one of the top competitors in the women's division, or at least, having a decent push, to just this?
I don't know.
Just some backstage rat trying to find her way and taking all this crap.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because before this little storyline kicked off, when she first came up, they would have been scrapping back, the first time they, Mandy Rose and them did anything to her.
Sure.
It would have been, I'm not talking about in the ring, I mean backstage.
Mm-hmm.
And she would have won.
I don't know.
But now she's like she this homeless person trying to find a place in the world or something. Man,
I need to find me story. Yeah. Well, here's the real question, though, because we got to this.
Okay.
What do y'all think about Aleister Black's opponent for Extreme Rules?
Cesaro?
Yes.
Actually, I love it.
Okay, Eugene?
I like it. I kind of saw it coming with the news breaking out of it.
Rumors.
So, there was the rumor that it was going to be Cesaro, then there was a rumor that they were changing it from Cesaro, then of course it turned out to be Cesaro.
No, I'm good with this, because they both can carry a match.
I'm good with it from a match standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
but from a storytelling standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't make sense to me.
Unless they intend to make a story out of it.
Well, I think Cesaro pretty much told you why he knocked, and it was like, I'm just looking for a fight. Like, to me, it seemed like they were trying to set something up, and the reveal just was so anticlimactic because it's hard for me. So, from a match standpoint, I'm very interested in this. I'm very interested in their match on Sunday. Like, in my opinion, this is probably the best match on the card coming Sunday.
Yeah.
So, but just the fact that Cesaro I'm always looking for a fight. Like, who's the face, who's the heel? Cesaro's been a heel. He was a heel on Monday. Aleister Black's been cutting these ambiguous promos where sometimes they seem more heel than face. And it's just like, I don't know. And so that's just, I'm just kind of left in this I don't know world. Let's put it this way.
Okay.
Let's put it this way. I'm happy Aleister Black's going to start wrestling. And I'm happy that he's going to have a match with Cesaro. So let's just go with that.
Yeah, just do like you. Sometimes you got to do like I do, Jay. You got to appreciate it for what it has to offer.
Yeah, I guess.
And we know WWE is supposed to be more for its storylines and production, which have been nothing to really write home about, for the last several years. And then the in-ring action has been, if we can get so much as a good B match out of it, because everybody's so watered down there, we can, take it with a grain of salt and appreciate it, right? Well, this here, I'm not looking for a story. I'm looking for a match. And I'm looking to be wild in the match. I don't expect anything from a storyline between these two. So if they
that's what I'm forcing myself to do, is to look at it from that aspect. Yeah. That Aleister Black should at least go start becoming more prevalent, obviously, in the ring, and that he should have a match against Cesaro.
Yeah, you start expecting too much, you're gonna have hurt feelings, man. I'm speaking from experience. So I was like, whoa, look at that. He actually threw a drop kick. Yes. Yeah. All right.
And I don't even really care about the last match, but we have to at least talk about the Owens factor. Kevin Owens runs in and he stuns Shane McMahon.
Oh.
Which allows Roman to get the spear. The match is irrelevant. It was all to set it up. not buying it. It feels too Stone Coldy, with Shane being Vince and Owens using the stunner. This is a time when Owens, I felt, should have used like the pop-up power bomb or something and runs into the crowd. It's just like
that would have been.
You cannot ever try to duplicate Stone Cold Steve Austin and expect it to work. You can't.
No.
You know, like the sneak attack stunners that Austin used to do, and then, you know, calmly escape into the crowd. Like, they're trying to redo that, and it's just like, I saw the Attitude Era. I saw Stone Cold. There's nothing you can do to make this work or pay homage to Stone Cold and to be viewed in a, you know, in any positive way. That's just my opinion of it.
Well, it was the Stone Cold formula, but the difference was Stone Cold would come to the ring, beat somebody's ass, then stun them, beat some more ass, and then walk away.
No. But there was those times where Stone Cold would do those, you know, those little stunners, and then when people would run into the ring, he does that little slide out of the ring and back into the audience.
Yeah.
You know, he did that. But no, he did. Sometimes it was just that. Like, it was straight up what they pulled. But the quick hit and like the drive-by style stunner, and then, you know, have them throw beers into the ring, and as soon as people come running to the ring, he just kind of slides out of the ring all calmly. And it's just like, it made me feel like they were trying to do that. And to me, because it's not Stone Cold, who cares?
Well, you know what? But you got to remember, they catering to a younger audience who haven't seen half the stuff we have. So,
but why?
It's not made for us.
But why Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Because he was one of the top selling gimmicks.
But he was one of the top selling gimmicks because he was Stone Cold Steve Austin. Right. That worked because he was Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Well, this is slightly
Kevin Owens is not Stone Cold Steve Austin. No, this is not sedimentary. No, this is not sedimentary liquid nitrogen KO. This is not that.
This is room temperature KO.
Yeah, this is gooey room temperature KO. Isn't it? No, like, come on, it's not working, and if the fans like, maybe I'm being too big of a critic. Maybe it's me.
Yeah, it kind of is. Like I said, you just got to take it for what it is.
Well, I can't. So
I know.
So for me, as I said, SmackDown started out solid, and I just did not like where it finished. That's just my opinion of SmackDown.
It's okay.
So, are you guys? I know D, you're watching Extreme Rules. What about you, Eugene? You plan on watching Extreme Rules?
Oh yeah. I mean, if the storm doesn't knock down my power.
Sure, because we do have a storm coming this weekend.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Oh wait, whoa. Really?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
So we need to. Yeah, we need to figure out this Fight for the Fallen, if we're going to be able to do it or not. We may not be able to, just because we may not be able to get to Steve's house to do it. D.
Wait a minute, what day is it supposed to hit?
I think Saturday.
Like Saturday night.
Yeah.
Saturday night. Oh,
I don't know what time, so we're going to look into it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to. Yeah, I guess we'll have more information the closer we get to it.
Yeah, but we need to at least call Steve and give him a heads up.
Yeah, because if that storm is there, even if it's just, you know, if a rain cloud form over his house, it's over. We ain't going to be able to see nothing.
So, we've talked about this card for the most part. The only new thing that we haven't talked about, they added Drew Gulak versus Tony Nese. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
I mean,
hopefully Drew Gulak wins, retains.
I think they added Revival versus Usos, too.
Did they?
Yeah.
I'm looking at the card. I don't. Oh, you're right. Okay,
yeah,
I do want to see that.
Yeah.
I do want to see that.
Hopefully, it's not pre-show.
Yeah.
I do want to see the Revival versus the Usos. Alexa Bliss is going to be in a handicap match against Bayley. That's a new stipulation that was added.
Yeah, 2-on-1.
what do y'all feel about the Strowman Bobby Lashley last man standing?
They should. I expect Bobby to get pushed.
I feel if Bobby doesn't win, it's a worthless match.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bobby.
Yeah.
I feel like Bobby too needs to win.
Because all this build-up was for nothing. He's supposed to be pissed right now.
Yeah. And I honestly feel if Bobby doesn't win this, then this was a waste.
I think Heyman has high praise for Lashley, so if anything, he's gonna get.
Okay.
And they need to start pushing him toward my booking dream, or dream booking or whatever. And you know what I've been wanting to see.
Yep.
Oh, you forgot to mention on Raw. Well, I mean, it's nothing really important, but Paul kind of making another tease about Brock's gonna cash in.
Yeah, Brock. He's
Kofi
guaranteed.
and
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that could add some excitement if Brock Lesnar does show up.
I think if Brock cashes in, it'll be on somebody who just lost a belt.
Probably.
Let's say if Baron Corbin some kind of way gets it, I expect to hear Brock's music.
I just don't
Remember
want
that dream scenario that we made? If he was to do that, he would get both titles.
Oh yeah,
that kind of be that'd be kind of interesting. Or if, or as I said, if somehow he Brock Lesnar sets up a triple threat match with Rollins and Kofi, that would be interesting too. I think there's.
Now he can't set up a match.
Sure. What I'm saying is, he could say. You remember, he could say, "I'm cashing in, but I'm going for." You remember, you can with the Money in the Bank contract. I'm going to cash in my Money in the Bank, and I'm taking you on at this point. What if he actually challenges both of them, and they both accept? Because remember, they both said that they need to beat Brock Lesnar.
Oh, okay.
Because they're both faces, right?
Yeah.
So faces would want to take on the challenge, right?
Yeah, that's the only way I can see that one working. I'm talking about with him triple threatening with those two.
Yes.
I understand if they're in their own respective matches. Yeah, he can't go triple threated because that's how it's set.
But then again, he is a heel, so he will not set up a match. He's just going to cash it in, right?
Right.
That's what heels do.
Yeah, while the dude getting rolled out on a gurney or something. His music.
So, I don't know. So, what are y'all's expectations for this pay-per-view? Do you think it's just another stomping ground, or it's just kind of like, okay, it's there? Or what are your expectations? Are you expecting a good show, or are you just expecting another episode of Raw?
I expect it to be a spotty pay-per-view. I expect a couple of good matches here and there. One that we've already spoke of with Aleister Black and Cesaro.
Okay. Here's what I'm looking at. Kofi Kingston versus Samoa Joe, I'm in.
Okay, right.
Aleister Black versus Cesaro, I'm in.
Right.
Ricochet versus AJ Styles, I'm in.
Yeah.
Strowman versus Lashley, only if Lashley wins. If Lashley loses, the whole match was worthless. If Lashley wins, sorry. Say that again?
What if that's a draw? What if they both get counted out?
To me, it's irrelevant.
Worthless.
It's worthless.
Now, Lashley got to win this.
Yes.
And it ain't no count out. It's last man standing.
And then the Revival versus the Usos, I'm in. The rest of the card, I could care less about.
What about your Gulak match?
Don't care about it. I just think that Gulak needed to win the belt just because Nice is bad. I don't watch 205 Live, so I'll watch the match if it's on the regular card. I don't know if I'm going to not watch. It depends what's going on Sunday if I'm going to watch the pre-show or not. But the rest of it, I could care less about. Like, honestly. Like, the rest of it. So, in my opinion, it just feels like another... It feels like there's a couple more matches than we had at Stomping Grounds, like I've already named. As I said, Kofi Kingston. To me, Kofi Kingston versus Samoa Joe is much better than Kofi Kingston versus Dolph Ziggler. So I am on board with that. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I think as long as some matches, like the ones that we did mention that we weren't looking forward to, as long as some of those matches are a little better than we anticipated, I think it's gonna be set up to be at least a solid to good pay-per-view event.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and let me see, as far as the women's match, Bayley and all them, I'm just trying to see where the story gonna go. How this is gonna play out, because they build up all this. It's kind of got its own suspense between um, with what's her opponent,
Nikki
Alexa
Cross
Bliss and Nikki Cross.
I would.
So,
I'm gonna have to disagree with you just because Bailey has ruined any hope of me liking this angle at all.
mm-hmm. I'm talking about
Just between Alexa and Nikki.
Yes.
Okay, so you're saying
not
you're saying you're happy when this match is over because Bailey is out of the story.
I'm just saying. Well, you see, I think Bailey is just a tool in this match. I'm just trying to see how they're gonna spin this friendship with between Nikki and Alexa.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if Alexa loses, she gonna blame Nikki or whatever, and if they win, she already thinking they're gonna be co-partners and all that mess. So I'm just trying to see where they're gonna go. That's my biggest interest in the match. It's not so much the match itself, but where's the story gonna go?
Just the result, going forward.
I have to say that as big as a mark as I am for Seth Rollins, this is a terrible championship run for this guy.
Yeah.
If it's just going to be Baron Corbin, and who knows who's coming next, this is such a wasted championship reign by Seth Rollins.
Oh, for God's... Oh, yeah. And, well, after Baron Corbin, I think he'll have a...
But
they
who?
can put him...
Who?
I say whoever wins the last man standing match should be the first in line to do the Universal Championship.
That would be good.
Well, only if it's Lashley. And even and the thing is,
Lashley.
Even if I don't even care if Rollins beats Lashley, just get Lashley into that title picture for a bit. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, this is how depressing it is to talk about WWE for me right now. Like, I'm looking at this and just literally, you guys can't see the video feed. I'm just shaking my head because I see this going wrong in so many ways. But anyway.
Because whenever you thought something was going to go wrong, they didn't disappoint.
Oh, no.
It went wrong. It went south.
So what I wanted to get to, and I want to challenge you to this. As a matter of fact, I want to challenge you to going and listening to Cesaro's new theme. Okay? And then I want you to think about what I told you guys last week, the main event Muscle Men. Because I've been giving this a lot of thought. And if you look at Cesaro's entrance, I'm gonna throw it in Discord for you too, just so you can see what I'm talking about. I don't know what got me just going on a long. Obviously, you can hear it in my headset.
At the hands of the dangerous Cesaro, who did not compete last night.
And Corey, can y'all hear this? You guys can't hear it? Okay. So.
You know what?
Okay, sorry, the theme is playing, but I put it in Discord for you guys. So, the thing that I want you to do is look at that intro. First off, Corey Graves sells Cesaro perfectly with this intro and everything. I'm going back to my main event Muscle Man. I've given it so much thought. And the entrance where it starts showing all the pictures of him in the different poses. Imagine all three members of the main event Muscle Men like flexing during those, okay? Cesaro, EC3, Robert Roode. Imagine them walking down to this entrance music, like giving them this entrance music, and this still goes with my vignettes of them in the gym being those annoying guys in the gym wearing the headbands, the sweatbands, all those things, biker shorts, like just hyping each other up, being super annoying, super loud. And then Shane recruits them to be his new goons, and that's how they start their push as a legit stable in this biz. And that's why I was saying that's how you can use Shane McMahon in this role that he's doing, and that could create something pretty cool.
That really could.
And you know, I just think that the Cesaro theme is just perfect for the main event Muscle Men.
You talking about the pictures?
So those pictures, but imagine like every time it flashes, it's one of the main event Muscle Men like doing some ridiculous over the top flexing pose.
Right.
Right? And listen to some music and imagine those three walking down as a trio to that music. and just like as I said, just oiled up the main event muscle men, and then Shane has them being his new goons that protect him and things like that. Boom, right into the fold. Because that's all it takes these days. It just takes Shane McMahon to bring you in, and now you're a legitimate heel. Because they've worked on Shane that much to where he can grab anybody, and then, all right, you're going to be going against the main event Muscleman, and listen how ridiculous that sounds. Number one, and just imagine those vignettes of them. Imagine when they're backstage. When they show them backstage, they're either using the bands to work out and things like that, and whenever they get and then whenever they're done doing an interview, now leave me to my exercise or leave me to my
Wasn't EC3 doing that?
Yes, EC3 was already doing the bands anyway.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, man, I don't know, man. I really think the main event Muscleman could be a thing. But obviously, with the Cesaro fighting Aleister Black, my dream has been crushed. My dream has been crushed.
Well, who knows?
Wait, who's to say it won't happen?
Yeah, maybe after the match, after Aleister, I think Aleister wins, obviously.
Yes.
But who knows? Maybe to further. Oh, good.
Maybe they go in, or maybe they end up jumping Aleister.
Oh yeah, it could be that too.
That could create your storyline. Yeah, it could be a great match at first, and then right before the end of the match, Aleister could win, and then whatever, and then they all three come in and jumping. Introducing the main event Muscle Men.
They got to keep the name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got to keep that name, main event Muscle Men.
It's so hokey. How could it not work?
Yes. Well, as I said, I want this to happen. I want this to happen so bad, and if it did happen, I'd be a happy camper. So WWE, give me the main event Muscleman, please.
You willing to go pose with them if they make it happen?
I'll take my camera. I'll set up a studio. I'll take the pictures for them. But that Cesaro entrance music for me just tops it off. Like I could just imagine them coming out to that. Walk into the ring all cocky with that music and things like that. Like, just imagine that. That's got gold written all over it for a ridiculous mid-card stable that could, get tag team title runs and things like that,
Yeah.
And
had their own little faction.
Exactly. And it gets EC3 back into the mix. It gets Bobby Roode back in the mix. And as I said,
those two need to be in the mix.
Exactly. Miz, if you want your shot at me, well, you're going to have to face one of the members of the main event Musclemen. And you're not going to know till your match starts, which is going to be next. You know how they always play that cornball game, but at least add that element to it. I'm in. You got me.
Yeah, they can have Rude and EC3 team up or whatever, be the tag champs or tag contenders.
So I don't know. We'll see. But I'm doubling down on my main event Muscleman. Doubling down on him.
He's all in for it, man.
Doubling down. So this week, my fantasy booking is part 2 of the main event Muscleman. Because I was listening to Cesaro's theme. I'm like, man, the theme's perfect. It's perfect. Just get the pictures up there before he comes out. Perfect. Just have them all posing, in different poses. Whenever each picture pops up, each member of the main event Muscleman is posing in some flexing thing. And it's on. Main event Muscleman. Let's do it. Get these vignettes here. Let's get them working out in the gym. Being just those annoying, screaming loud when they're doing their weights or hyping each other up. Like, yeah, bro, you did it, bro. Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah, just doing all of this stuff. And yeah, I'm telling you, this is a golden idea. We just need it to happen.
I made those same noises when I was lifting weights. but I was in pain.
I got it.
It was hurting.
So I'm doubling down this week on Main Event Muscleman for my fantasy booking. And as I said, because they've turned Shane into the biggest heel, Shane can get anybody over now. That's why I don't have a problem with Shane McMahon, and I feel like the talent, when they're given their opportunities, need to maximize it. The Revival did, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, when the Revival were running around with him as two more henchmen, now, like, you know, they're back into the mix. They're champions again. They, you know, it worked really well. So I think that they have kind of created that. It's almost like how Vince was when Vince was, you know, the main heel in WWE. He could get any heel over.
It's kind of like Shane rescued the Revival from his dad.
Exactly. So I just feel like that's why Shane's character is very important right now. And if you do a face right, you can get a face over by going against Shane. So I feel like a character like Shane is essential. I just feel like they just need to play it more where he doesn't necessarily need to be the ring guy himself. Like, he doesn't necessarily need to be in the matches. They just use him to get other people in matches and help get them over as legit people.
Yeah.
So
we need
essentially, he'll be like the corporation, kind of like his father.
Basically.
Yeah.
So we need to get a Twitter thing started for the Main Event Muscle Men. Hashtag Main Event Muscle Men, and we need to somehow tweet this to the world, so that the world can see my image of the Main Event Muscle Men. Oh yeah.
Would it be hashtag MEMM or hashtag MEM?
It'd have to be MEMM. You have to do.
Yeah, because
you got to get that double M in there.
Because MEM is also something else, but.
So, yeah, there's my fantasy booking, guys. I know it went 2 weeks into the Main Event Muscleman, but I'm so bought into the idea that I just have to have it now.
The more you talk about it, the more I feel like there's a possibility.
Anybody else have anything?
Were we gonna pick our picks for?
We sure do need to pick. Wait for which one?
For Extreme Rules, like for the card.
Okay, let's do that. Let's pick our picks for Extreme Rules, and then let's pull up Fight for the Fallen too. So let's look at Extreme Rules. Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch. I think a lot of these we already picked, because I think we all agreed on Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch. I don't know if you guys have changed your mind into last week. I haven't.
No.
I can't.
Yeah, I'm pretty set.
The thing is, I can't see them putting that belt on Baron Corbin for any reason.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
So I have to go with Seth Rollins.
Undertaker, Roman Reigns, Shane, Drew.
Taker and Reigns.
Taker and Reigns.
Okay. Kofi, Samoa Joe.
Kofi.
Yeah. See, so right now we're still same as we were. Has this week
Samoa.
changed your opinion? You're going Samoa?
Yeah, but he don't win the belt.
Oh, okay. Okay. What about Bayley versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross?
I'm gonna say Bayley,
I think Bayley.
because Alexa's gonna stay on Raw, and her and Nikki's storyline can continue.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
like I
I'll
say,
probably say Bayley.
Bayley's just a prop in here.
Gulak, Nice.
Gulak.
The Planet Champions, the New Day, Heavy Machinery.
Woo!
Ooh.
Oh man, damn. If the Planet's champions lose, I'm gonna say the push should go to Heavy Machinery.
If they lose, it's
But,
not
that-
gonna be them getting pinned.
Right.
True.
So I'm gonna just say Heavy Machinery.
I'm leaning towards Heavy Machinery as well. I
Same.
think it's the bad move. I think it should be the Planet Champions. I think Daniel Bryan and Rowan can bring prestige to these belts, but they don't know how to run the tag team division correctly. So I'm going Heavy Machinery,
And he was
pinning somebody in the New Day or throwing somebody off to get a cover, something
Right.
like that. Black Cesaro. I think we already said that earlier. Black.
Black Cesaro. Oh, Alistair Black.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, my bad.
Aleister Black by disqualification due to an interference from EC3 and
He's just saying that to make me smile.
So
Just to
you
put a
just
smile.
had put all the trimmings on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, I can buy that one.
Ricochet versus AJ.
Oh wow! But Ricochet just got it. I think he keeps it.
Who came out who came out strong at the end of Raw? I didn't see that.
AJ.
Okay, so yeah,
Yeah.
probably Ricochet.
Mm-hmm. Braun versus Lashley.
Lashley. I'm
Either
gonna say Lashley.
double count out or Lashley.
No.
I'm saying.
It's last man standing.
I'm saying Braun.
Oh yeah, they still got to count both men down. But
I'm saying Braun.
You know, well, you know what? I'm gonna pull for Lashley.
Sure. No. I understand. I'm just saying Braun Strowman's going to win. We have already discussed if Lashley doesn't win this match, this match is completely irrelevant. The Revival versus the Usos. Revival.
The Ryuso. Nah, the
Ryuso.
The U-Vival. No, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna ride with y'all on that Revival.
So
because they need some new people in the spotlight. So.
But speaking of the Revival, do you realize they have not been on TV until this past week? And I missed them, but they were like on a 2-week hiatus, which is crazy.
Yeah.
It was probably in Japan or something.
That's true. I forgot about that. They could have done the Japan trip. So yeah, you're right. Okay, Fight for the Fallen. Brandy Rhodes versus Allie.
Allie.
Oh wow. Nah, MC, she's the boss's wife. I'm gonna go with Brandy.
I think Allie, unless Brandy gets help from somebody.
Brandy gets help from somebody.
Okay, so you're gonna go with that.
Who do you think? Who do you think would help her if that was the case?
Whoever she put that money in there, you know.
I'm trying to think who's on that roster.
Maybe
Probably
Nyla?
that librarian chick.
Leva Bates. I think. Unless there's a new signee, because it seems like
Norman's little sister.
If there's not a new signee, if we're going with the current roster, I'm gonna go with Nyla Rose.
Yeah.
Who? What? Say what now?
If there's not a new signee, like a breakout, this lady just signed a AEW, but they haven't released the information yet, then I think it's gonna be Nyla Rose. Kenny Omega versus CIMA. Oh, what were you gonna say? Sorry, you.
I was just gonna I was gonna make like a comment.
Go ahead.
She could be like Nyla Rose could be like her Diesel to her Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
And I'm really just curious to see how much Brandy Rhodes has stepped up her game, if she has, because she needed a lot of work when she was wrestling on Impact. So I'm hoping if she's putting herself into this match that she can deliver. That's really what I'm looking forward to the most, to see if Brandy Rhodes can wrestle now.
What was that submission move she used in TNA?
I forgot. I already forgot. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Where you body scissors and then you just hold the arm, but then the position is supposed to go in away, and then they tap out to it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
How the hell does that hurt?
Yeah. Thank you for reminding me.
Hey, no problem, man. That's what I'm here for.
Kenny Omega versus CIMA.
Kenny Omega.
I think Omega, but it's going to be a good match.
Yeah.
I think Omega is going to make people think that CIMA has a chance of beating him. Like, you know how Triple H used to always come out on top, but he sold so well that the person that lost to Triple H comes out of that situation with the biggest, crowd pops for the next few weeks. I think Omega's going to do that for CIMA. Cody and Dustin versus the Young Bucks. Ooh.
Oh, wow. Ooh,
I say Cody and Dustin just to kind of pay off the coming off what was it, Double or Nothing, kind of like brotherly moment. Either that or I think they win both ways, but I think maybe Shawn Spears interferes and kind of disqualifies them, if anything.
So here's the interesting thing that I've noticed about the Young Bucks after the past two pay-per-views. The Young Bucks have looked strong through both. Like, unstoppable. And I don't know if this is a thing that they're doing on purpose. Like, okay, we're all the elite, we're all the members of the elite, but we want the Young Bucks to be these unbeatable forces, so when they do get beat by somebody, it's going to be a big deal, and that's why I think the Young Bucks are going to win.
Like LAX?
Maybe.
They get LAX? by
You
that time.
know. So, but I think they're gonna keep pushing the Young Bucks as this unbeatable tag team. Like they're the Goldberg tag team basically.
Right.
And then it's going to take but they're not going to mess up by having somebody, tase Nick Jackson to get the win to finally beat them. It's going to be like a legit tag team comes in and beats them. But I think the Young Bucks are going to keep winning for a while. And that's why I'm going with the Young Bucks on this. So I'm going to go against you guys.
Well, I didn't pick yet. I was just thinking. And no, really. I mean, I think Rhodes and them are gonna win,
Mm-hmm.
but it probably won't, like I said, it'll be a DQ or something. Or I mean, it's not gonna be a clean win.
Got it. So I'm going the exact opposite. The Young Bucks win clean. Adam Page versus Kip Sabian.
Page and Sabian. Wait a minute, Kip Sabian. Who is that?
He did commentary on the match, the Fatal 4-Way match last time. He was the guy doing the guest commentary.
The British guy?
I don't think he was British. No.
Well, the foreign guy, the one you was raving about.
No. That wasn't Kip Sabian.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna go with Page because he's one of the top dogs there. So he's on that.
Yeah.
He got that world champion push. So.
Sure, but this is also a golden moment for Chris Jericho to come in and attack Page.
Oh, screw him over.
Because we didn't see Jericho in the last pay-per-view, and we got to hype up this match going into All Out.
Well, was it a pay-per-view or was it just a? No, I call it a free-for-view.
But this one is a pay-per-view, correct? Like you have to pay for this one.
No, it's
this
another
one's also
free-for-view.
still free.
This one's for free as well.
Yeah, because this one's supposed to be for the veterans and whatnot.
So is this going to be on Bleacher Report Live as well?
I believe so. unless
Okay.
they change. I want to say still Bleacher Report.
Okay. But I still think we have to get Chris Jericho and
Involved.
because Hangman Page and Chris Jericho have not done anything together yet.
Yeah, it would be good for him to make an appearance.
Right?
They did mention that
And
Chris
build
Jericho
up.
will be there.
Okay.
Yeah, and build up. That way he can build up the heat to the pay-per-view.
But Chris Jericho could still attack him if Adam Page wins. So the question is, does Chris Jericho attack him before or after Adam Page gets the win?
I say after.
I say after too, so I'm going to go at Adam Page.
So he gets Adam Page gets his win, and then they get their little build up.
Also, so here's the weird thing about Adam Page though. Is Adam Page is in 2 feuds. Because Adam Page, actually his bigger feud is still MJF.
Right.
It's actually not Chris Jericho because those two have done nothing together. So there's a lot of dynamics this could take.
Well, theirs was just, they just beating because they was in a tournament or something. There was no storyline behind them.
No, I get that, but you have to have hype going into that championship bout. Okay. It can't just be Chris Jericho won his match, Adam Page won his match, and we're just going to show up on this today and the best man wins.
No, I mean, they can do this right here at this pay-per-view. Like I said, Jericho can run in and just send them a little last-minute message about, what's coming up. But then, at the match, let's say MJF can come in and screw over your boy Page. Well, Jericho wins the title. And then they can really, get their feud and going while Jericho representing with the belt.
Got it. Yeah.
Until Page gets his revenge or get us another shot. So.
And then the next match we have the tag team that there's now this actually is going to be interesting. Jimmy Havoc, Darby Allin, Joey Janela versus MJF, Sammy Guevara, and Shawn Spears.
Oh wow.
Oh
yeah, I like that.
Think of because we are now very familiar with Darby Allin and Joey Janela. We're now very familiar with those two. Those two have made a name for themselves now. Sammy
They
Guevara.
take some wicked bumps.
Yeah, Sean Spears, of course, we all know. But if you didn't know, the chair shot puts him on the map. But this is also a time for Sammy Guevara to get a better shine than he got on Double or Nothing. I think on Double or Nothing, he went so early in the card that a lot of people have already forgotten him because Double or Nothing took off at some point. Sammy Guevara was long forgotten by then.
I can't even remember the guy. Who
because
is
you
he?
didn't see him. That's the match you missed. So yeah. So I guess who do y'all have on that one though?
Yeah, I was out on 99 when he was in the ring. I guess.
Mm-hmm. Who do you guys have on that?
I would take.
I'm gonna go with the Gothic group.
Yeah, give it to them.
I think they take it too. I think.
Because.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna mention because. I mean, it wouldn't make sense for Janela and Allen to lose again since they really did they had their spotlight last pay-per-view.
Exactly.
And also too, I think there's gonna factor in the whole Sean Spears MJF thing because Sean Spears was the one that hit Cody.
Yep.
And MJF is friends with Cody.
Yeah,
so
and he was talking trash. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there'll be that tension or that dysfunction during the match that'll cost them.
I think Sammy Guevara takes the pin though.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Or maybe MJF gets surprisingly knocked out, or surprisingly rolled up.
Or one of those two feeds the other one to the other side, right?
Yeah.
Because I just think the only way MJF can take a loss right now, like a legit loss, is it has to be something like that. Sean Spears turns on him, and then Sean Spears feeds him. That's the only way he could take a legitimate loss right now. So yeah, I agree with you.
Then why the hell? Then I know it's still up in the air. What would that put Sean Spears? Because MJF is an ultimate heel right now.
Yes.
And then you have them following that, and Sean Spears look like he's heel after what he did to Cody. I mean, that's gonna confuse his storyline to me.
Well, that's why there's more to this match than we're seeing, and we're just going to see it played out. This match is going to be a storytelling match. They're going to let Darby Allin, Joey Janela get their shine from the last pay-per-view, ride their hype train, and there's going to be. I think this match is more of a storytelling match than anything else.
Right. Well, they got to put their storytelling to good use then.
Mm-hmm. The next we have SCU, Frankie Kazarian, Scorpio Sky, with Christopher Daniels. So I guess all three members. I don't know why they're saying it with Christopher Daniels, like he's a member of SCU.
It's
versus
like Frankie Beverly and Maze.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. No, it is just those two, Frankie Kazarian, Scorpio Sky, versus the Lucha Brothers.
Okay, and I guess Christopher Daniels might be accompanying them.
Yes, but man,
all right.
Man, look at this match. SCU versus the Lucha Brothers.
Wow.
It's gonna be a good match.
Yeah.
This is probably the match I'm looking forward to the most.
I expect the Lucha Brothers to take it.
Yeah, the Lucha Brothers have lost twice. They're not going to lose 3 times.
Yeah, no fear, man.
No, this right here, to me, is going to be the best match. I think it's going to be better than the Cody Dustin versus the Young Bucks. I could be wrong, and if I am wrong, I'll be happy, because I know this match is going to be incredible. So if I get 2, crazy, incredible matches, I'll be stoked. And then, last but not least, Sonny Kiss.
Holy.
You all right there, Dion?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I can't believe he's on the card. That's all. Yeah. Dave Pride representing.
Yep, Sonny Kiss versus Peter Avalon.
Peter Avalon.
He's the male librarian.
I'll give it to Sonny Kiss on that one.
Yeah.
Mm.
He gonna need his push. Otherwise, they're gonna be marching. So. Why are you laughing at me, Jay?
Because I already know your opinions. Just so you all know, Dion is not into the super flamboyancy of.
No, it just takes some time to get used to. It's like staring into the sun, man.
Pimpinella I have no idea who Pimpinella. Have you guys heard of Pimpinella? We got somebody who's commenting about the best wrestler of all time. Pimpinella?
I don't know. That name sounds familiar.
Eugene?
What was it again?
Pimpinella?
Pimpinella?
It's like I heard it somewhere before, vaguely though.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of Pimpinella. Commenter, where is Pimpinella known from?
I'm not screwing. I'm not.
Or is this just I don't know if you're being serious with us or not. That's all I'm trying to say.
Scarlet Pimpernel. Pimpernel. Say what? You don't know who you...
I don't know if he's this is somebody commenting live.
Oh.
This is the name of the commenter, or they mentioned
He said everybody knows who the best wrestler of all time, and then the second one, Pimpinella. Pimpinella, like you know, like a pimp, but Pimpinella. So that's why I said I don't know if he's you know, just throwing a joke out there, or if he's you know.
The best wrestler of all time.
The best wrestler of all time?
That's what he said,
Yeah.
Pimpinella, yeah.
Best wrestler of all time. I will put my 2 cents and say the Nature Boy Ric Flair, the greatest wrestler of all time.
Then you are 100% correct. I mean, I think it is a fact. I don't even think this is up for debate here.
Yeah.
Greatest wrestler of all time, easy. Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Nature Boy Ric Flair. That's a given. Like you know, like. So you're gonna say you're.
You better off just start saying who's the second.
Yes,
Exactly.
I'm just. It just warms me to hear that, you know, because this is the cool thing about the show. This is 3 different generations of wrestling. Eugene being the youngest. Obviously, he's a student of the game. If he acknowledges that the Nature Boy Ric Flair, hands over foot, is the greatest of all time without debate. You know, this is great to hear.
Then you got the old geezer, that was me, and I'm the one told him get into wrestling. Yeah, I think you do good in it, man. Making some money.
Yeah, so Nature Boy Ric Flair. So yeah. So if we ever do a greatest wrestlers list of all time, which I guess during wrestling downtimes, right now it's just too much going on where we have too much to talk about. But when we finally hit that downtime, when we hit our greatest wrestlers of all time, we do our top 5. It's obviously going to be the top 5 post Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Well, right behind him, I'm gonna just throw the small out
Save it.
Yeah, save it. Don't get on too
I
much.
can't.
Keep him
Santino
wanting more.
Marella. Shit,
Santino.
Well, yeah, and that's a close second. You know.
Yeah. But yeah, so Nature Boy Ric Flair, hands down. Like, I mean, so yeah.
When you're talking about in-ring, work the crowd, promos. Oh God, the promos.
Yes.
The whole package.
The character, everything.
Yes. So.
And he never wavered. He's always been Nature Boy. He wasn't jumping from one gimmick to another. He was Nature Boy everywhere he went.
It did not. I'll say there was a moment it did not work though. WCW, when he became like the general manager of WCW, that was bad. So if you watch the 30 for 30, he basically talked about that whole time when WCW misused him. And he basically said that, you know, yeah, and I agree, that was a bad Ric Flair. Like, that was the worst of the worst Ric Flair. And I agree with him. Like, the whole, when he was the 4 Horsemen, but the face, but having the heart attack and doing all that other ridiculous stuff. Like, he was basically talking about, like, that was bad. So, funny story about the Nature Boy Ric Flair. You guys may have heard it. Is how when Mick Foley showed up to Ric Flair's book signing for Ric Flair to sign his book, I don't know if you guys know this, Ric Flair punched Mick Foley. He was mad at Mick Foley because this is how upset he was at Mick Foley. In Mick Foley's book, he was talking about how Ric Flair led to the demise of WCW when he was the general manager doing all those things. He was so pissed that Mick Foley would even dare think that those ideas would begin to manifest in his brain. That's how offended he was. That he was like, well, they're cool. They're actually close now, but he was that offended that Mick Foley would dare think
pinning it on them.
The chemicals in Ric Flair's brain would come up with those ridiculous ideas that were going on in WCW when he was like the general manager.
Well, who was it? Russo?
I don't know. I have no idea, but that's how offended he was by Mick Foley
And
that he punched him when he showed up.
understand it.
Yes, because it was that bad.
Because
So-
I remember the GM Ric
Yes.
Flair.
And I think it was to the point where like Mick Foley was almost like touche, like my fault, because that's how notoriously bad it was. That I think that it was
damn,
forgiven by
he-
Foley.
Foley didn't say it. He wrote it
Yes.
in a book.
Yes.
It's in black and white.
Yes.
you can't go white
Yes.
white out all
Yes. Like that to me is a great story of Ric Flair. Is that's because that's what I was saying. Look how bad Flair was during that time. So you were saying there was no. I can't think of a time. I can't. WCW during the heyday of the NWO, and then when post NWO when it got over ridiculous and Russo came. All of that. I mean, that's about a good 5-year block of bad Ric Flair. Yet
They
when you
should
have
have,
30-something, how many years? 40 years maybe in the business.
Mm-hmm.
And there's, if you have 40 years and 1/8 of it's trash, you're still in my book. That's the greatest of all time. So,
Yeah, that was post-apocalyptic
NWO.
NWO.
What I don't know. I don't know what you call it. The New World Order came. You're right. It was a New World Order.
That was after the rapture of WCW.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. I like I said, I lived through that. I experienced that. I remember when he was saying, "Yeah, the greatest show on earth." Blah blah blah. Oh man. I'm like,
I was
oh,
a
man.
WCW guy over WWF until it started to get too ridiculous.
Yeah,
I
and he
mean-
had the Magnificent Seven with
Oh.
Road Warrior Animal Hog and Steiner and Luger and
It was so
Like-
bad. To me, the death of WCW is easy. When they started the Wolfpack, when the NWO started getting so big that they had to create 2 NWOs,
yeah.
that was the death of WCW.
Well,
the
they,
Wolfpack.
well, they
Like-
was at. Well, no, it got worse than that to me.
No, it definitely got worse. But to me, that was the
And-
start, right? That
and
like,
all them
if you had to
numbers.
point your finger at where it began, the NWO getting too
When they-
big. The
when they
NWO.
split.
And then when they split, it was definitely like, oh no, this is good. I mean, how are you supposed to believe Lex Luger coming out to a
Now you
rap
know what?
song?
You stole that right out of my head just now. I'm about to say that until you say, yeah, you got him in the gangster mode.
Yeah, and
Really?
yes, Flexi Lexi.
Oh god.
Yeah, NWO Wolfpack.
Oh my god.
I mean, you. It's like you putting a show dog with a pack of wolves.
It was so bad. And not only that, I'm going to go on record and say I'm not a big Kevin Nash fan. I think Kevin Nash... The Outsiders, in my opinion, are one of the greatest tag teams of all time. Largely in part because of Scott Hall. Largely in part because of Scott Hall. Like, sorry, Kevin Nash. Like, you...
Yeah, no one's really big on Kevin Nash.
No, and he, I think in his mind, he believed that he deserves that credit, like to be one of the greats, and because he had all that booking power in WCW and he was doing terrible stuff, he probably,
revolutionized wrestling.
yeah, with the taser, sure,
And the finger poke of doom.
yeah, oh man,
Oh yeah,
mm.
that was a classic match. There.
If you're ever sitting here saying, how could this guy be a WCW fan back in the day over WWF, go back and look at the roster WCW used to have. Look at all the they're like the WWF of today,
And
where
and
there's
how
just so much talent, and it's all being misused. Like,
at that point,
mm,
at that point when it was during that bad stretch, we was basically just watching it like we do now, out of tradition.
yes,
I mean, it was just obligation,
because think
just
about
to see if something was gonna happen.
like I used to tell everybody who used to be, I'm a WWF guy. I used to be like, how, when literally the only excitement you were getting was the Stone Cold segments. If you go back and look at those old Raws, they made sure Stone Cold was on at least 3 times per episode. because you couldn't turn away, because if you did, you were going to miss what Stone Cold was going to do. You know, Raw is War used to start. Do you remember the intro when Stone Cold is walking through the street with the fire going on and everything?
Yeah.
Like, they were letting you know, like, this is the Stone Cold Steve Austin show. Because it's not like you're going to catch me, you know, interested watching, you know, Flash Funk versus the Blue Meanie. Like, I'm not interested. Sorry.
Dude, you didn't watch that match?
Oh, man. Your boy Too Cold Rod Scorpio, man?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. But when he was still Flash Funk.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, those were the... Think about that. Those were the other matches that were going on. You know, of course, when The Rock started emerging, as you know, and everything, yeah, that started to do things, but... You had like basically Stone Cold, Undertaker, the emerging Rock, you know, the original DX, but that used to fill up maybe a fourth of the entire programming. Other than that, you were watching things like the Headbangers versus it was like some other crap tag team, or what were they called? The Kurgan. You were watching Kurgan versus Kane or something. So think about what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like WCW, yes, WCW legitimately had a much more talented roster, and so it was easy. But I had to admit, when it got really bad, like I would rather watch Kurgan versus Flash Funk than I would, Lex Luger come out there to rap music, like. And I don't think that there's anything worse I could say than Lex Luger come out to rap music, so I'll stop there. You know,
or
like
a
that's...
Viagra on the pole match?
Huh?
Or a Viagra on the pole match?
No, you know what? I wish they would have did Scott Steiner's suggestion with the women, you know, panties on a pole match.
Scott Steiner. Oh, man. Hold on. Dion, I consider you to be one of the wisest, most, wrestling people I've ever met. I have a quiz for you.
What's up?
Scott Steiner's original name when he came out with the blonde hair. Because it was not Big Papa Pump.
I'm trying to remember. Because when he first came out, I thought that's what it was.
No, sir.
No,
I'll give you the biggest clue. Here's the biggest hint I can give you. Eugene, you were probably too young when this happened. It happened on an episode of Thunder.
What year?
Well, wait a minute. Because, crazy enough, I was thinking about Steiner this morning at work. For a real reason I don't know. Well, I guess I was thinking about the show. Because I remember when he turned heel, he double-crossed his brother.
Yep.
It was doing the Steiner pose, and then next thing, where he was standing over, next thing you know, wham, to the back of the head, right?
But then remember, he came out with the blonde hair. On WCW Thunder.
He had on a hat, like a little.
I'm talking about when he came out with Buff Bagwell. Okay, when Scott Steiner came out with Buff Bagwell, and he came out with the new look, with the blonde hair and everything. What was his original name before they decided to change it from Thursday Thunder to Monday Nitro?
When they changed it from Thursday
Thunder? Because remember, he went from Thunder to Nitro, the episode.
Nitro was there first.
No, I understand. I'm saying he debuted this new name on Thunder, and it was a one-night name because on Nitro he was Big Papa Pump. So it was a one-day name change.
Huh. Let me think back. When I first saw him, let me see.
Let's see. You're asking the year, Eugene, 98 was the year, Eugene. Huh?
Oh, 98?
Yes.
Okay. It wasn't, was it? Was it?
I'm trying to think, because he came out, he had that little hat on with his new hairdo.
February 22nd, 1998, when he joined the NWO, is when he had the new look. But he did not come out as Big Papa Pump.
Can I give the initial, just so I don't spoil it for...
Give him the initial, sure.
my old age, man.
It wasn't Big Bad Booty Daddy, was it?
No, it wasn't
No,
Big
no,
Bad
they
Booby
came-
Dad. They came with the whole Big Papa Pump gimmick.
Man, you know what?
You're gonna tap out. It's on.
I'm
It's
out.
on. It's on Wikipedia. If you want to get there, you want me to send you the link, or you want me to just tell you?
Just go on, tell me, man.
Oh, wait,
I was
wait.
trying to get it on my own.
No, I was trying to think. Wait, is it? No.
My clue is it happened on WCW Thunder. When he did
Yes,
it.
it's White Thunder.
White Thunder.
Right?
I remember it was like on the tip of my tongue. Like, wait, White Thunder.
I wouldn't have never got it, man.
White Thunder. Buff Bagwell introduces him as White Thunder.
Oh yeah, that was
Damn.
bad.
Yeah, well, it's
Oh
a good
my
thing.
god.
Whew. And who came up with that name?
Ooh. Probably
Scott
Bischoff.
himself.
Yeah, or Scott. Yeah.
I want to be called White Thunder, Eric.
Oh
call
my
me White
god.
Thunder.
That's how bad it was. That was
Yeah,
terrible.
that was. Man.
Imagine what this guy's career had taken off
But
had
that
he
was still in the
continued to
middle.
go by White Thunder.
But nah, that was still in the middle of the NWO when they was coming up and everything.
Yeah, as I said, February 22nd, 98. So NWO was still, like you said, on its up and up during that time. I don't think I'd
And I
gone. That's probably about the time when I was splitting between WWF and
Right.
WCW.
See, because before NWO happened, it was basically Hulk Hogan and Hulkamania in WCW
Yep.
running things, and Ric
Mhm.
Flair. And the Horsemen was basically crap at that time.
Mm-hmm.
They was trying to live off past glory with new people, and it
Mhm.
wasn't happening. But then NWO came along and the game changed.
Oh, of course. It saved,
And then-
it saved professional wrestling. The NWO saved
Yeah.
professional wrestling.
Yeah, the war was on, brother.
If yeah, like
And then
by
what-
far the most impactful moment in wrestling history is the formation of the NWO.
Uh-huh.
Like
And right after that, that's when Vince and them started forming factions
Mhm.
with the Nation of Domination, DX,
Sure.
the Bariquas, and
Yeah.
the Disciples of Apocalypse.
Now, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Stone Cold Steve Austin, sure, he deserves everything. When they say he's earned that company more money than anybody else, all the
Yeah.
things they say about him, more money than The Rock and Hogan combined, all those things. However, as big as I am in Stone Cold Steve Austin, I still don't think that Stone Cold Steve Austin is the most impactful thing to happen to professional wrestling. I think he's the second behind the creation of the NWO. Like Hogan turning heel and joining
Yeah.
this heel stable, and that was originally supposed to be Sting. Hogan was supposed to be Sting. Would not have had the same impact if it was Sting.
Wait a minute, Sting was supposed to
Sting
be
was
the
the
third man?
Sting was originally supposed to be the third man. Would have had nowhere near the impact it did if that Hogan joined it.
Well,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because everybody known Hogan to be this bit
Eat
larger
your
than life.
vitamins, drink your
Yeah.
milk,
Your prayers.
all
And then-
those things.
But the funny thing about the story is Hogan wanted to do later on first he was NWO Hogan, then he became Hollywood Hogan.
Yep.
And of course Macho Man called him on that, Hollywood Hogan,
Hmm.
right? And that's when you first heard it. But that idea, Hogan wanted to be Hollywood Hogan when he was still in WWE, but Vince wouldn't let it ride.
Really?
he
So
was
he
doing-
wanted to go heel and everything and do Hollywood Hogan?
Yeah, not NWO, but Hollywood Hogan,
Ah.
and become heel and do all that then. But Vince didn't want to do that.
Wow. So Vince dropped the ball on
Yeah.
literally creating the most impactful, because that
turned
saved professional wrestling. I don't
I mean,
think I would have ever gotten back into professional wrestling. I happened to turn into Raw the Monday after it happened. Like, I didn't hear about it. I was just flipping through the channels, and I stopped. And I was like, I haven't seen wrestling in, I don't know, since I was a kid. Let me
right.
just see what's going on here. And I saw what's going on, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Hogan is, heel, and I didn't know the
Yeah.
word for heel, but I was like, Hogan's a bad guy? Like, what is going on here? Like, this is crazy. And,
And I was there when that happened. I'm telling you, they were talking about who was the third man at the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the third? And then I think Luger was hurting or knocked out or something.
Remember, Bobby the Brain spoils it.
Huh?
You
Whose
remember
side
Bobby?
is he on?
Yeah, whose side is he really on? And people say Bobby spoiled it. I
Yeah,
don't.
well,
I don't think Bobby
what?
spoiled it. That's just heel
didn't spoil it
commentary.
because-
That's heel commentary. That's genius heel commentary in my eyes. Where it's the obvious face, but you always go say, "Oh, who knows?" Kind of like the Corey Graves approach. I think it's genius heel work, honestly.
Part of Bobby Brain's stick was he always claimed that Hogan was crooked anyway.
Mm-hmm,
He was just
exactly.
pulling the wool over everybody. So
Exactly.
when he said whose side, that was just natural.
Yeah.
So I need to talk to my buddy who keeps bringing that up because that's important to know because that's heel commentary work.
Right.
Just like Corey Graves is always talking about the New Day. They're just doing this for this like he's trying to make it seem like they're really bad all the time.
Yeah, he's old school heel like Jesse Ventura was.
Yes. So that I'm glad you told me that, Dion, because as I said, I didn't watch building up to that, so I didn't know that Bobby was already labeling Hogan as a bad guy anyway.
Yeah, I mean he's done that throughout his career though.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, when he
But I'm sure when he was actually on commentary that he was doing it every time Hogan was popping his face.
Yeah, I mean because he always
because Bobby Brain is one of the greatest heels of all time, right?
Yeah, and then even after it was all discovered later on, Bobby was saying, and I've been telling y'all for years, Hogan is. yeah, you said it, Bobby. I said you said you're right about that.
That's great. But
I'm saying when Hogan was coming to the ring during the pay-per-view to save Sting or whatever. After Luger was hurt, I already knew. Oh yeah, this the third man because it was at the time it was 3-on-2. It was still just Nash and Hall out there, and they didn't have a third partner yet. And when Hogan was coming down, because remember Hogan was out the picture for a couple of months. He was across seas, whatever, and nobody heard from him. This and that. And so when he appeared at the pay-per-view, me and my infinite wisdom, I was like, oh yeah, this is it. It's him.
Wow, you made that call. You made that call because that's a big deal because
I mean you got to be
that's the biggest turn in the history of wrestling.
And I'm like, well, he's coming down to save them. I mean, actually, even with Luger out, it's still 2-on-2. So what reason would he have to come down? It was just basic common sense.
Sure. But you were able to basically say that. Okay, so here's my question for you: when you saw Hogan and you made the call, how shocked were you that Hogan's actually going to turn heel? Is the question.
I wasn't shocked, but when I put it like this: when he did it, I was just wondering how he was going to show it. That's all I was waiting on. Okay, how is he going to do this?
I'm surprised. I'm surprised. Like you were like, oh my God, it's going to be Hogan, and you were just like, oh, it's going to be Hogan.
What happened? Macho Man was in the ring, down, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's right. Because I think Luger was already out. He was on. I don't know if they took him to the bag. Or he was on the floor, whatever. But Macho Man was down, and then Hall and Nash, when Hulk Hogan came to the ring, they got out the ring. They were just standing there watching him and stuff, and you saw ripping off his shirt, looking at them and all that bullshit. Then they say, and then Hulk Hogan, and then he turned around and dropped that leg on Macho Man.
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
Then,
Is he the
I knew it. Huh?
I'm surprised that you weren't still like shocked, even though you saw like, oh my God, it's gonna be Hulk Hogan. I'm surprised you weren't my goodness. They're going to make Hulk Hogan? Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, man, okay, I knew it. He just confirmed what they fixing to do.
Have you guys seen the guy? There's a father who got his daughters into wrestling, and he started showing them old school WCW. And their reaction to Hogan doing the turn, they're like these young girls. Have y'all seen that?
Nuh-uh.
It's so good. Like these are young girls that he got into WCW, like old school WCW. Like I guess they're watching it on the WWE network, and then you need to see when they see Hogan turning, because it's like it's so great that these young girls have a reaction to Hogan turning. So imagine that they bought into Hogan being the greatest guy ever, and then to just boom do this turn. It's actually pretty funny.
Probably ruined their lives.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You should see the video. Yeah, he pretty much did ruin their lives.
If you ever pull that up, just send that. I'd like to see it.
Yeah. So.
Hey, wait a minute. Are we still on the show?
Yeah. So, and I was about to wrap it up because it's 11 o'clock. So I was about to wrap it up anyway. We just went on this long tirade of
I just kind of happened to look at the clock and I'm like, wait a minute. I don't think we ever signed off.
No, we're about to. But that's what happens when we take tangents of the greatest wrestler of all time and then look at what it spin us into. So.
Oh yeah, man, a lot of history in that.
Oh yeah. So, but yeah, we're gonna save our list. We're definitely gonna do that. It's just right now we got too much, and this weekend's packed too. So, but all right, guys, there you go. And we gave you a lot of overtime there. But yeah. It was supposed to be a short, but you know what? I don't feel exhausted like I did last time. Last time, I feel good because we started doing the nostalgia trip, which is always fun. But But all right, guys. We appreciate those who listen. We appreciate the comments, the questions, and everything. Don't be afraid. Get involved in our conversations. We're here to talk wrestling with everybody. Go ahead.
Got something you want to add? Throw it in there.
Mm-hmm. But hopefully we could be serious, and if you were being serious pimping about this wrestler named Pimpinella, I'm sorry, I just don't know who that is. Let's try to be more serious, though, next time. But all right, guys, we appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one. Take care of yourselves. We'll catch you next week.
See ya.
All right.
Crash with Dash. See you next week, Wrestling Wednesdays. Peace.
Peace.